Alright, now we will see relay, latching and unlatching for three-phase motor, relay or contactor. Earlier we have seen latching and unlatching of single-phase motor, I name it as SPM. Now we'll say three-phase motor. So if you notice in three-phase motor, what we have three terminals UVW, and I can show you a three-phase motor here. So three-phase motor, I will tag it as TPM. And this has three terminals U, V and W. So how to latch it? For that, generally we use a contactor. So the contactor symbol is similar to relay because the fundamental is same. In contactor you also have a coil and you have NO and NC contacts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a latching circuit very quickly, and this time I'm using 24 and 0 volt as my controlling supply. You can use line and neutral, depends upon the operating voltage of your contactor. So that you have to see in your contactor. If you see your contactor, there will be some instructions written on that with some power voltage information. All right, so I'm going to use again a normally open switch. So target as A, and then I will use an NC switch. This will be X. This will be linked together. So I'm using another coil. This is the coil of my contactor, so I will write contactor. Okay, and you connect it like this. So this is the same latching circuit which we made earlier. So taking another normally open contact, and this will be linked with contactor. So here, and this will be connected in parallel to my NO switch. Okay, so now comes the three-phase. So for three-phase, I will take three-phase supply, which will be L1, L2 and L3. Okay, so this three-phase supply, and I can also use this phase here so that it's easier to make connections. Now we need to have a switching mechanism between three-phase power supply and the three-phase motor. So that will be same as the contacts of contactor. So I need some more contacts. So what I can do is I can also copy paste this one and rotate it. So if you see here, I can link it. This is the first phase going to the motor. Similarly, I have to link the other phase, and then the third phase. Okay, it's pretty easy when you are going to wire the contactor like this. So this is the name of my contacts. Right, so when you go to online, now if I latch my contactor, this will give three-phase to my motor like this, and motor will run in one direction. Okay, and this is going to unlatch it. So the latching and unlatching circuit is similar to what we have done here for the single phase. Here we just have one phase going to the motor and another was neutral, but here we have three phase, L1, L2 and L3. There is no neutral in three-phase motor. Alright, so this was just how to run the motor in one direction for three-phase motor. Of course we have overload relays here which I have not connected, but generally when you're going to connect your three-phase motor, in case if motor is drawing a lot of current, you can connect overload relays here which will trip itself, or you can also connect fuse. Fuse is also necessary because when you're going to provide three-phase supply, and if it is drawing a lot of current, this fuse will blown away so that you can protect your motor. Instead of fuse, we also have MCBs, miniature circuit breakers, are connected usually in series with the motor connections. But you can also connect the overload relays. So let me see if I have those in my library. Yeah, we have this overload relays. You can connect that in series. This is used for protection. This is a very standard circuit we also call it DOL starter, direct online starter. This is for single or three-phase motor, latching and unlatching. All right. You can also have emergency stop somewhere in the middle or over here to stop the motor, because emergency stops are generally installed where we have heavy load applications. So this is a normal stop, normal start and stop. You can also have emergency stop here. That's also connected in series. So let me just connect that for you. So the emergency stop switch is also like an NC switch, but in that case we have a mushroom head, you know, red color emergency switch. You might have seen in my factory IO videos. If you have seen that, I am using those switches very oftenly. So if you see here, this is going to latch the motor, this is going to stop it. Again, this emergency is going to stop it, because this will cut off the supply to my contactor, and if contactor is off, these contacts will be open. All right. And if you want to indicate the motor phases using some indicator, you can connect in parallel to these contacts some indicator, which will tell if the correct phases are going to the motor or not. That is another way to indicate the phase. So this is about three-phase motor, latching and unlatching. In the next video, we'll see how you can change the direction of this motor and how you can also change the direction using push button or limit switch. All right. See you in the next video. Thank you.